This is from Maya in France, whose family is from the Comoros Islands. I think her story is almost impossible to imagine. She was 12 years old when a flight meant to bring her closer to family ended with her floating alone in the Indian Ocean. My first memory after the crash was choking on water that stung my throat. The taste of salt, mixed with something sharp, maybe fuel, filled my mouth. My body felt heavy, but I forced my arms around a broken piece of wreckage. Letting go wasn't an option. It was completely dark. No stars, no lights, just the endless sound of waves slapping against debris. I screamed for my mother until my voice gave out. No answer came. That silence sank deeper than the cold, reminding me I might be the only one alive. Just hours earlier, everything felt normal. My mother and I had boarded the plane in Paris, excited for summer in Comoros. She told me this trip mattered, that I'd see the island where she grew up and meet relatives I only knew through her stories. Then the plane shook violently. Alarms blared. Passengers cried out. My mother squeezed my hand tightly. I remember her eyes, scared but focused on me. Then in seconds, her hand was gone. The cabin ripped apart. Metal screamed, and I was no longer inside anything safe. I opened my eyes in the water, coughing and gasping. Broken luggage and torn metal floated around me. I reached out blindly and grabbed onto something solid. My arms locked around it, and I clung as if that scrap was the only thing keeping me alive. All I could think was, where is Mom? She had been right beside me. I screamed her name again and again, but nothing answered. I told myself she had to be nearby, holding on to something too. I waited for her voice, but the waves gave me none. Minutes stretched like hours. My skin burned where salt water touched open cuts I hadn't felt before. My arms trembled from gripping so tightly. I wasn't a swimmer. Without that piece of wreckage, I would have sunk instantly. Every wave felt like it was trying to pull me under. Exhaustion dragged me towards sleep, but I fought it. Each time my eyes closed, I saw her. I remembered her laugh on the plane, her excitement about introducing me to our family in Comoros. I held onto her memory like another lifeline, refusing to let it fade. The ocean never rested. Waves pounded my body until my chest ached and my arms went numb. I whispered to myself, 1 more minute. Just survive 1 more minute. I didn't know if help would come, but 1 more minute felt like a promise I could keep. I lost track of time. The ocean pushed and pulled me like I was nothing. My throat was raw from shouting. My arms ached, but fear kept me holding on. I told myself over and over, if I just stay awake, I might see morning. Every minute stretched. I thought I heard voices sometimes, faint calls carried by the wind or my imagination. I turned toward them, desperate, but saw nothing except black water. The loneliness was crushing. It was like the entire world had disappeared, leaving me behind. The smell of fuel clung to me. My cuts burned where the liquid touched them, and every breath tasted metallic. My eyes stung, my chest hurt, but I forced myself to breathe in shallow gasps. If I panicked, I knew I'd waste the little energy I had left. In my head, I replayed our last hours together on the plane. My mom had talked about Comoros, about the beaches and the family waiting for us. She wanted me to feel connected to where she grew up. I clung to those words, imagining her voice guiding me. The night felt endless, and I began to wonder if the sun would ever rise again. My body begged for rest, but I was afraid that closing my eyes meant I wouldn't wake up. So I whispered to myself, repeating, "Stay awake, stay alive, don't give up." Studies show that in open water crashes, survival beyond a few hours without a vest or boat is nearly impossible, even for strong swimmers. The fact a 12-year-old girl survived more than 9 hours is considered extraordinary by aviation safety experts. When the sky finally lightened, I almost didn't believe it. Gray clouds replaced the blackness, and I could finally see the waves rolling endlessly around me. No land, no boats, just pieces of wreckage bobbing in the water and the heavy ache in my chest. My arms were numb, and my grip slipped more than once. Each time I jolted awake, terrified I'd lost my hold. My lips were swollen, my skin blistered. I whispered my mother's name quietly, too weak to shout anymore. The silence afterward was unbearable. I thought about my family waiting in Comoros. My aunts, cousins, the faces I'd only seen in photos. Would they even know I was out here? Would anyone believe a child could survive a crash like this? That thought scared me as much as drowning. I drifted in and out, losing track of time again. My body felt like it belonged to someone else, heavy, useless. Every wave was a fight. I didn't know what I was holding on for, but something deep inside whispered that I couldn't let go. By midday, the sun burned my skin. The salt water stung every wound, and my lips cracked from thirst. I tried to lick the rain from my face when clouds passed, but it wasn't enough. My body felt like it was shutting down, piece by piece. I started drifting in and out of strange dreams. Sometimes I thought I heard my mother's voice, calling me gently. Other times, I saw her face clearly, smiling at me. I reached for her in my mind, holding on, even though the ocean kept me trapped. The debris under my arms scraped my chest, leaving cuts I couldn't even feel anymore. My arms were numb, but I refused to loosen my grip. I told myself if I lost it, my life would slip away in seconds. Holding on was all I had. I thought about Paris, about my father waiting for us. He had stayed behind this time. Did he know what happened? Was anyone searching yet? The thought of him finding out we never arrived broke me more than the pain in my body. Time blurred again. I couldn't tell if it had been 6 hours or 10. I tried to count waves, but the rhythm made me dizzy. Every moment was a fight between closing my eyes and forcing them open. If I slept, I knew I'd sink. At some point, I noticed a shape in the distance. At first I thought it was another hallucination, just my mind playing tricks. But then it moved, slowly, steadily. A boat. My heart pounded. I wanted to scream, but only a whisper came out. The boat grew closer. I tried to wave, but my arms barely moved. My body felt like stone. I whispered again, begging for them to see me. For a moment, I thought they would pass by, that I was too small to notice. Suddenly, a voice shouted. A fisherman pointed toward me. The boat turned. Relief flooded me, but I was too weak to even cry. Someone threw a flotation ring, but I couldn't grab it. My hands wouldn't respond. I thought it was over, even as they reached me. 2 men pulled me aboard. My body collapsed against the deck. Everything hurt. My arms, my chest, my head. I tried to speak, but no words came. The last thing I saw before blacking out was the fisherman's face, shocked that a child had survived. When I woke again, I was in a hospital bed in Comoros. Tubes, monitors, bandages covered me. I asked the only question that mattered. Where is my mom? The silence that followed told me what I already feared. I had survived, but she hadn't. Doctors told me I had broken bones and burns, but none of that mattered compared to the emptiness inside. Relatives came to comfort me, but I barely heard them. Everyone called me a miracle. I didn't feel like one. I felt like something important was missing forever. When I returned to France, reporters crowded around me. Cameras, microphones, endless questions. They called me the miracle girl, but I hated the word. People wanted inspiration, but I couldn't give it. Inside, I carried only guilt. Why was I alive when 150 others weren't? For years, I avoided speaking about it. I even turned down film offers because reliving those hours in the ocean was unbearable. My story wasn't entertainment. It was the worst night of my life. And carrying it in silence felt safer than reliving it in public. Later, I testified in court when the airline faced charges. I sat there shaking, telling strangers about every terrifying detail. I wanted accountability, but even then, I knew no verdict could give me back my mother, or erase the memories of being alone in the water. People call me lucky. Maybe they're right. But sometimes I wonder if surviving was the hardest part. I live with memories that never fade, and questions without answers. If you were me, would you call it luck, or something else entirely? If this story touched you, please share your thoughts in the comments. Your words could mean something to someone else. And if you'd like to hear more stories like this, consider subscribing. Every survival carries lessons, and sometimes the hardest part is living afterward.